How do I handle this symptom? My right leg is numb. My left leg is numb. Well, what about tingling? What about brain fog? When you get your body in a place of peace and ease, your access to your capacity opens. A woman can know I need boundaries for 10 years, for decades, but until she says no, nothing changes. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to day 3 of the MS Rebellion workshop, where shift happens. Knowing isn't healing. There's a difference between knowing and healing. And most women already know enough to heal. And I think we saw that, Tracy, from the homework answers. They were amazing, right? The insights that we got, was like, this is going to prove that we already know what we need to heal. So we're going to talk today about how do you bridge the knowing to the healing? What's in between? But before we do that, all the homework entries from yesterday have been added here. These are yesterday's, and tomorrow we're going to do it one more time with today's homework, and then we're going to draw from all of the entries one grand prize winner, and they win a year's membership into the MS Rebellion on School. So today's winner of the day two homework is... Oh, Tracy, you were supposed to be doing a drum roll.
Oh, drum roll.
All right, the winner is Melissa Robinson, and her answer was, this is a good one. My body keeps telling me to move more, walk more. This is a challenge because I'm currently unstable and in a wheelchair. If I use the walker, someone needs to be home to help, and I am home alone from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m., which means someone is home. When someone is home, I'm tired. I don't want to be a burden, a million excuses not to do the thing I need to do. I don't want to be a burden. Wasn't that the red flag of it all? Most women already know exactly what they need to heal. I mean, we all know that speaking up matters, boundaries matter, that their body is trying to tell them something, evident in the homework question. We all know what our bodies are telling us. Rest. We all know that rest is something that we find really hard to give ourselves. We have to justify it. We have to earn it. Do we deserve it? Nutrition. We all know the nutrition part. And we all know that the nervous system matters so much, but the problem is you know it, but you don't live it. And when I say you, I mean all of us. That's the gap between the knowing and the healing. We know it, but do we live it? We keep consuming, waiting for something to change. Knowing is intellectual. It's the thinking. Healing is the experiencing. So there's the knowing, and then there's the experiencing it. Are we experiencing it? A woman can know I need boundaries for 10 years, for decades, but until she says no, nothing changes. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Healing begins when knowledge becomes behavior. So quick show of hands in the comments. How many books have you read? How many books have you read on MS? Tracy, do you have a number from you? How many books have you read in the last 20 years on healing MS and everything related to it?
Oh my gosh. I couldn't even tell
count.
you.
No. Podcasts, YouTube videos. How many times have you heard something and thought, oh, that's exactly what I need to do? But then you find yourself days later still stuck in the same rut, because if knowing was enough, we'd all be healed. No one would be in this community of learning how to get out of symptoms. Why do you think women spend years looking for answers that they already know? Why do you think it spends so much time just searching and consuming information that they already know?
We've been conditioned in this, like kind of these last generations where, a shot, you can get a vaccine and cure something, a surgery and fix something. It's like that quick fix, right? The magic wand thing. And I think a lot of people, myself included, you're looking for that one thing that's just going to change your life forever.
The missing piece. This is it.
The one puzzle piece that's like the major picture, right? But that's really not how healing works at all, because all the pieces have to come together. They're all about the same size. And so they all need to fit in the right spot. But also there's this resistance to change. It's like you're comfortable being uncomfortable. And so you stay stuck in whatever modality you are in, because if you were like I'll just speak on myself, but I think Janine was the same way. It's like you consume all this information, hoping that you have this, like, you might have some light bulb moments, but it's not enough for you to actually go out and do it because it takes effort. It takes change. It takes taking that one step toward something that can change you, but also change is scary for a lot of people. So it's like you're in that space of being scared to change, but wanting to change. It's like you want that change, but you don't want change. And I see that a lot, just not even in the healing space, but just in people who want to change jobs or change relationships. It's like you want the change, you want the magic wand that everything's going to be fine. But you have to kind of go through the muck before you can actually see the fruits of your labor. It's like the lotus flower, it grows through the mud. And so we get stuck because we're afraid of the change, even though that's what we want. It's like very dichotomous, isn't it?
I don't know that word, but yes, I'm going to agree with that. Use my context clues there. The muck. That's exactly the part that I think was the piece that changed everything for me. Because when you said change is so scary, I started, why is change so scary? If I know that's the right thing, then why when I go to do it, like saying no, speaking up for myself, why when I go to do it, does it feel so scary? And it wasn't until I learned about the nervous system and how the nervous system just wants to feel familiar. Familiar feels safe. So the nervous system runs on safe, unsafe. That's it. And so anything that I was trying to do that was new, the nervous system said, we never did this before. We don't know how this is going to go. This isn't safe. Don't do this. All of that feels like, don't do it. Don't do it. And it feels scary. And I don't think it ever gets easier where you feel less fear when you try to embody these concepts. It doesn't, the fear never goes away. I think you just get better because this is how it went for me. You just get better at recognizing, oh, there's the fear again because I'm doing something new. I'm going to be okay. We're going to take baby steps and we're going to just try this. And then
Mhm.
you do it and you don't die. And you go, oh my God, I actually did it. I changed. I did this. Even if it was the tiniest little thing. And then you have to do it again and
Yep.
again and again. And I think where I messed up was I always thought that that came easy for other people. When I saw other people changing and growing and doing these new things and speaking up and setting their boundaries, I thought it came easy to everybody but me. And I didn't realize that everyone who is good at it, they still feel the fear and they just got good at acting in the fear, acting despite the fear. You're watching this and you're going, yeah, but I can't do that. Well, we all thought that. We all thought the same thing. Well, I can't do that. When in your life have you ever felt, just give us an example of knowing exactly what you needed to do, but still not doing it? You
Um,
know, this is it. This is what I need to do. This is what's going to bring me peace. But
mm.
you're like, I can't do it.
Oh man. The biggest thing that pops up for me, and I know Janine, we kind of have talked about this in the past and more recently, is the throat chakra and speaking up.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
as
mine.
a people pleaser, some of you are going to be like, oh my God, that's me. People pleasing and perfectionism and fear of not being accepted. You kind of just shut the mouth off, right? Now, no, people that know me now are like, there's no way you were shy. I was super shy. All the way through, like until I was 30 something. I did not speak up. I did not rock the boat. I didn't want to upset people. I got bronchitis every friggin' year, no joke. And it lasts 3 months. And every year I'm like, what the hell? And then you just feel like crap for 3 months. And so it wasn't until I realized that it was a lot to do with my throat chakra, which affects the thyroid. And then it was like I was tired and all the things. I worked so hard on that throat chakra and all the things around the throat chakra to start to speak up. And that I am telling you, of anything I've ever done as far as self-development, learning to speak up, even when it's uncomfortable, was the hardest thing I can do. And it was like I had been working on it and working on it. And my first marriage, when I finally went to my now ex-husband and said, I want a divorce, that was the hardest thing to come out of my mouth because I was so scared of all the consequences. I had two little kids at the time. Oh, it was terrifying. And I don't know how I eventually just murmured the words out of my mouth. They just finally eked and squeaked out like, because I was so scared of what was going to happen after. But that was kind of a major turning point because I had been working on speaking up. I mean, I was on the Chicago Fire Department. So as a female trying to speak up in that environment was really hard for me. But it was that point at which I realized, okay, I did it and I didn't die. I went to jail, but I didn't die.
That's a whole nother podcast. We'll be doing
Yeah,
that one next
yeah,
week.
yeah. I didn't die. And so it was like, okay, if I can do that, I can do it again and not so, it's not going to be as scary. That was the hardest time. So,
It's still going to be scary. It's still going to feel like, oh my God, I'm
yes.
going to die. But then your mind goes, okay, well, we did it once. Let's try it again.
Okay.
And how long does it take for anyone going, I don't know if I can do this? How long does it take before you can start speaking up for yourself?
I wish I can answer that. You just have to do it once and see that you're okay. Yeah, you might have gotten nervous, you got butterflies in the stomach, you might want to throw up, you might
You
like
might have thrown up.
hide your head under a pillow or the sand, but you realize that you're still safe. Everything is you're still intact. You likely didn't go to jail. You're good. So I mean, you try it with the smaller things first. That's my suggestion. Don't go full boat, but try it with the smaller things. If someone says, oh, can I help you with this? Don't be like, oh, no, I'm fine. You'd be like, you know what? I could use some help.
Because
And
you're screaming inside, yes, yes, I need help. Somebody, please. And then somebody comes to us and says, hey, is there anything I can do for you? And what's our first response? No, 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 I'm good.
oh, I'm
Everything's
fine.
fine. I'm
Yeah, I'm
fine.
fine. Yeah.
And we know better, but what does it take for us to actually speak up? Nothing that you're going to read in books. Nothing that I ever read in books gave me the confidence to start saying what I wanted, whether it was saying no or setting boundaries. And it doesn't have to be, this is what I learned the hard way, it doesn't have to be this big thing. When you start small and you just say, actually, I would prefer, and that's kind of how it sounds, like your voice is shaky. Actually, I would prefer if we dot, dot, dot. And when I get asked the question, how long does it take? I think it's a lifelong lesson. I think it gets easier the more you do it, but I still find myself in situations where, here, perfect, case in point, this workshop. I was so nervous to do this workshop because this is the first time I've spoken publicly about nervous system and identity and all of these things that come with MS or that stem from MS. I've always talked about protocol. And last Friday, before this workshop began on Monday, I started feeling it. I started feeling it in the throat. My throat was sore, and I fought against resting. I fought against actually identifying with myself what I was feeling. So, this is what the work looks like. All right, Janine, workshop's coming up. I know you're nervous. What are you feeling? I feel scared. I feel nervous. And you can see it now. Just naming the feeling gives me some peace. I'm nervous. I don't know how it goes. I'm not good at tech. Like, what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? What if we can't do it? All right. Well, we figured some shit out in the past before. You can figure it out again. And I had to force myself to rest when there was so much to do before Monday. So even though I am really good today about speaking up and this is what I want, in my comfortable known environments, you put me in a new environment and I still struggle, but now I recognize the struggle and I face the fear and I say it anyway because I know the consequences of it. Where yours, Tracy, was bronchitis, mine was strep throat. Mine was strep throat. It was raw, it was antibiotics, and I spent most of my young adult life on a cycle of antibiotics for the strep throat, which just kept me in a cycle of sick.
And I'd love to know in the comments who here still has a hard time speaking up for anything or asking for help. Put it in the comments and let us know. Just
Let
curious.
us all feel a little bit less alone. Saying, me, that was me. I still can't do it. I speak publicly for a living and I still get myself all worked up before any event. So I don't think it's anything that ever goes away, but we just get much better at doing it.
There's no failing, right? But you don't have what you would call failures because you don't have the information. It's because you feel unsafe. Just like Janine was just saying, you don't feel safe enough to speak your truth, to speak up, to do the things that you know you need to do. And it's not
And
because of lack of knowledge.
because you're not going to feel safe until you do it. More knowledge is not going to give your nervous system that safety feeling of, okay, let's take that risk. Another book, another podcast, another YouTube video on MS is, or anything, is not going to give you that safety feeling within your body. The only thing that moves the needle is the actual doing it. I think we've been taught that when you feel the fear, don't do it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we have to go against. When you feel the fear, you have to find a way to do it a little bit and then do it a little bit more, which is why the healing journey is the worst. It's the hardest. Anyone who's ever healed from anything will say, God, thank God that's over. That was awful. If I was able to put myself in a time machine and go back to when I was in a wheelchair, even knowing all the information now, I'd still be scared. I would still struggle with it. So if you're listening to this information and you're going, I don't know, I don't know if I can do this, well, join the rest of us. Welcome. Nobody feels confident doing anything for the first time.
Part of this is your ego. Your ego is not inherently bad. It's going to protect you. But when you let ego drive all the buses at the same time, you are going to find that it is driving to keep you safe mentally, emotionally, and physically. It's really meant to keep you safe physically, running from the, ethereal tiger. But when you don't feel safe, when your nervous system is not regulated, when you don't really know who you are, and you're in unfamiliar territory. Think of it this way, because I'm like this still, even though I'm aware of it. When you are, let's say it's summertime and it's really hot where you are, what's the first thing you kind of want to do is cool off, right? You want to get in some air conditioning, or you want to get back to baseline because you're familiar with baseline. You're comfortable with whatever your baseline is for the summer, 70 degrees, 80 degrees. Now it's winter, and maybe you don't experience really cold winters, but I'm in Chicago, and and I know where Janine is. It gets like we had -60 a few years ago. It gets cold.
Oh,
I
New Jersey never experienced -60.
Yeah,
Wow.
okay, well, um, all I want to do is get warm, okay, because my body wants to go back to baseline. It is the same thing. And that's why, people are drawn to cold plunges or sweat lodges because it's getting you uncomfortable. And we're always trying to go back to a baseline, but you don't grow from baseline. You don't grow from baseline. That's
Mm.
too comfortable. It's too familiar. So we have to get out of our comfort zone. And so you're resisting it because you feel it's unsafe. You feel like your nervous system reacts to the feelings that are flowing through you, like anxiety, fear, frustration, impatience, anger. All of the things start building up, and whatever your tendency of an emotion or feeling is, that's what you're going to go to. And like you might see people who are unfamiliar with, maybe you're driving in a new city and it's really there's a lot of traffic and you're getting lost, and for you you might just all of a sudden just kind of freak out on the road driving, or for other people they're going to get really angry because they don't know where they are and they're getting frustrated and impatient and they start to freak out. So it is the you need to become more familiar with your role in the growth process and what that looks like for you. And also, understanding that your nervous system and ego are just trying to protect you. So having tools that help you regulate when they do pop up, because they're always going to pop up. It's just how you manage, how you support, and how you say, oh, I've been here before and I didn't die. I'm still here. So let's try this again and let's see if I can manage better this time.
I never understood, well, if my body is just trying to keep me safe, isn't speaking up for myself safe? Safe, according to the nervous system, is just familiar. That's all it is. That was the missing link for me. Safe equals familiar. So whatever is familiar to you is what the body is going to tell you is safe. It is not until you take the small risk outside of your comfort zone, teach your body that that new baseline is now safe, because now it's becoming familiar. So familiar is the safe part. Safe is the familiar. The ego wants to stay with what it knows, because the unknown is, oh, unsafe, death happens in the unknown, to the ego. To the soul, we're supposed to expand. We're meant to expand. Our purpose here is to experience and expand. But with our expansions, whether it's in speaking up for ourselves, setting boundaries, trying something new, testing out what our body is actually capable of, we have to do it in tiny little chunks. When you surprise yourself, when you are proud of yourself, that is the best feeling in the world. And that only comes from taking risks and taking one small step outside of your comfort zone. And that's where the healing happens. We're constantly bracing. We're constantly, if we don't trust ourselves and we're relying on the external environment, we're constantly bracing for the perceived threat from the outside world. The bracing is the body and the nervous system being constricted. And when the body is constricted, energy doesn't flow. And when energy can't flow, signals can't get through. So we've gotten so many questions in this group about, well, how do I handle this symptom? My right leg is numb, my left leg is numb. What about tingling? What about brain fog? It's when you get your body in a place of peace and ease, your access to your capacity opens, but not when it's constantly going, I can do more. I have to do it all. I can't do this. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to say no. Oh my God. When you're living like this, there is no access to the capacity that your body has.
Yes, peace and ease is exactly it. It's beyond the point of safety. It's peace and ease. Once you can learn how to tap into the feeling of safety, then you can bring about peace and ease. And actually, we're going to go over that in the school group today at noon, my time, because we're going to be talking about those pieces today.
And that's where everything starts coming together, the peace and the ease. When people say, how do I get rid of this symptom? How do I get rid of that symptom? This symptom's going away. That's the side effect of the peace and the ease. So what peace and ease looks like for you or you or you, it's different for everybody. What does your peace and ease look like? What would you need to do in your life in order to feel peace and ease? Because once we work with women on that, that's when the symptoms start to fade. That's when the symptoms start to go away. And that's just the side effect. Because every time they go, I can't believe I walked across the entire room. I haven't done that in 3 years. And I go, and what have we been working on? We haven't been working on walking halfway. No, we haven't. I've just been learning how to speak up for myself. I had no idea they would say that that had anything to do with my walking. And I'm like, yeah, I'm right there with you. 20 years ago, I had no idea either. This is why Tracy and I bring you this information, because you're not going to find this on WebMD. You're not going to find anyone out there online.
Or even chat.
Or even chat. Exactly.
Promise.
All right. So now that we're talking, Tracy, about the difference between understanding something and embodying it, what would you say is the difference between understanding and embodying for the people who really want to know, like, okay, I understand. What's the next step? How do I embody something?
Well, I like to call it inner standing, because
Oh.
once you understand something, you can't unsee it, right? So it goes beyond the intellectual. I always tell people your logic brain is not that smart. I'm sorry. It's your intuitive brain. It's that reptilian brain that really knows the subconscious. It knows way more than you give your logical brain credit, you give it credit for, because you think the logical brain is what you need to use to figure things out, but it's not. And so that understanding, the embodying, is taking that knowledge and actually using it for you, not because someone else told you to, not because this guru or this person said this is the best thing for you. No, it's taking all of the knowledge and kind of really assembling the puzzle now and saying, this is what I'm going to do for myself because I know I need this. But everything is in seasons too. So the age you're in, and I talk about seasons a lot, and by seasons I don't just mean spring, summer, winter, fall, but the age you're in, the stress level you're under, the environment you live in, the lessons you've learned, like all the things, right? All the things that are needed. It's kind of like if you're sick, you're going to eat a lot of soup no matter what time of year it is, but you may not need soup after you're sick. So a season is just the different phases of life, the different pieces that you're currently experiencing. So you want to take those pieces and start putting them together and using your inner wisdom, embody the practice that you are currently needing for the stage of life you're in, the season that you're in. So if you're saying like, I know I need a nap on certain days, then go take a nap. Like instead of fighting it, go take the nap. If you know that you need to get out in nature and your intellect is like, oh yeah, nature's really good, grounding is good, and you don't do it, well, that's not embodying it. That is just gathering knowledge, which I know Janine and I have both done, just gathering, consuming. You have to go do it. And the only way to embody is by the experience that you bring to it. And it's without judgment, without expectation. You just go do something, you learn from it, you understand it more, and then you can adjust the next time you try or do it. Just like speaking up. If you do it only once, you're still not fully understanding yet because you haven't embodied, like Janine said, that's constrictive. There's no flow and there's no growth. There's no expansiveness. So you have to keep doing something until it becomes a flow, until it becomes easy. And by easy, I don't mean like non scary. There's still going to be a little bit like, oh, here we go again. But it's more at ease. It's more like, okay, I can do this and nothing bad's going to happen.
That was a great example, and I just want to kind of talk about that one example that you gave about the nap. And this is the hardest one for people to give themselves permission to rest. And let's start with, where does I need a nap come from? Or I want a nap. I want a nap comes from you, the soul, your heart. I want a nap. And what happens 2 seconds later? Well, you shouldn't, because you have to do this. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. And then you're like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right. And then where does the nap go? You don't take it. This is the library. This is your identity up here in the brain, and it's holding all of the programs that taught you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. This I go to for history. My remembering is up here. When we go, I want a nap, listen to that, because that's your intuition, that's your soul, that's your body telling you, communicating with you what it needs. The brain is going, that's not safe. We have to do this. We should do this. Those are all the programs that we acquired over our lifetime of being on this earth. That's not what you listen to. Healing isn't an information problem. It's not that you don't have enough information. You all have all the information that you need to heal. Whether you learned it or you feel it, you all have all the information that you need to heal. It's an implementation problem. It's an embodiment problem. We're not taught that it's okay to move forward in the fear. We're not taught that it's okay to take that risk, and that fear doesn't mean danger. It just means unfamiliar. So I want to close with this. Your body doesn't care what books you've read. The body doesn't care what podcasts you've listened to or how much you know. Your body responds to what you repeatedly do. So think about what you repeatedly do every day. Are you stuck in a cycle? Are you in the autopilot? Are you constantly in an autopilot of, I can't do that, I can't do this, I can't do that? Let's test it. Let's test it out. And you can do this now with us if you want to. Put your hand on your heart and ask, even if it's just standing up, if you're in a wheelchair now, if you're laying down now, what is one small step that you can take that you don't normally take? Literally and figuratively, one small step, and ask yourself, am I ready for this? Can I do it? And listen to what comes, and then follow that. Tomorrow when we talk, the workshop day 4, it's going to be our last day. We're going to bring it all together. The shift happens here. Tracy and I aren't just about, hey, listen, here's more information. Here's more information for you. We want to give you the tools or the space to be able to practice embodying these. And we'll talk about more what's going on inside the Rebellion on School, a space to practice these concepts, not only practice them, but hear them on a weekly basis, go down deep into them. And then you have a community of women who are all doing the same thing, who there's, 40, 50 women, just like you see here, who are going, you know what, this is scary as shit. And this is what I did. And this is what worked for me. We have some pretty great women in there right now waiting for you. So if any of this resonated with you, come back tomorrow or go check out the MS Rebellion on School. We want to leave you tomorrow with, this is how you move forward. So homework. Love the homework questions. All right, homework question is already posted, 11:30 my time Eastern. It got posted in Facebook. If you answer this question, you get a chance to win a $20 gift card. And then tomorrow, I'm going to take all the homework entries, put them all together, and one lucky winner is going to win 1 year membership into the MS Rebellion on School. It's over $1,000 worth. All right, so what's the homework for day 3? Ready? What is something you already know intellectually, but haven't fully embodied yet? Haven't fully practiced doing yet? What is, just pick one thing that you already know intellectually, but you haven't fully embodied yet. We will see you here, same place, same time tomorrow. Have a great one. Bye.
Bye, everyone.